Today I've got Meg Smith on, and she is the founder of Love Lexi, who is a bra company, bra company that I recently discovered and love, Post-Explant. And I wanted to interview her because she did something that I had not found from anyone else. She's personally been through an explant. Many of you have heard my journey. We'll recap a little bit about that. But she saw a niche for something that I felt was missing. You know, a lot of reasons we get implants to begin with is to feel better about ourselves, to feel sexy, to feel attractive, feel all the things. And you love dressing in that. And then when you go through the idea of an explant, there's not a lot of options there. At least I didn't see a lot of options. All I had was my old bras that definitely didn't fit right. I had underwires that were hurting. I could not find one that looked attractive on that. And she saw that need, but not just for explants, but for women of all shapes and sizes that have struggled with bras and want to feel sexy in them, want to feel attractive in them. So we're going to be diving into that today. I've got a lot of questions I'm going to ask her about in the story, but I got to tell you all before we started recording, I'm like, it's too funny not to share. So we have I have a dog who's older. My dog does not have accidents in the house ever. Like Flops is really good, but I walked in my office to sit down and record with Meg, and I smelled something. I'm like, what is it? It smells like there's food in here. I was just telling Meg this. It smells like there's food in here. And I couldn't figure out what. So I'm like looking. And then so I call my husband and I'm like, Brooks, do you smell that? He's like, so we're both walking around like dogs with sniffers going, yeah, we smell something. And all of a sudden we look like behind my desk area and there's like smeared poop. And I'm like, what do you mean? What is this? Where did this come from? And then to make matters worse, I noticed that our little, those robo vacuums? Like we have a robo
Oh yeah.
vacuum. Yeah. That like
Oh
sweeps.
yeah.
Well, the robo vacuum discovered it. So the reason I didn't see it, it was all smeared into the ground. And not only this was like smeared everywhere, all through the house now. So I had to start my interview a little late with Meg because we are like a meme. This will be a reel later, I'm sure, about Flops apparently pooped in my office without telling anyone, the nerve. And then the vacuum found it and it's all through my house. So I've got toxic candles lit right now, toxic candles, because I need to cover up the smell.
It's
So
necessity. Yeah.
it was a crappy situation, Meg. It's a
Quite
crappy
literally.
situation.
Quite
So
literally.
thanks for understanding. It was
Of
too.
course. Of course.
So that's how my morning's
Uh,
going. But for those of you listening, I think we're gonna have a good conversation today. So Meg, first of all, I don't even know, how did I find you? Did you message me on Insta? I think you messaged me and told me about your bras, or did someone from your team? How did I
I think
even?
there was somebody,
Oh no,
there was Erin.
no,
Yes, there
Aaron,
was a
that's right.
girl.
Aaron connected us. Aaron
Yes.
connected us. Oh, Aaron is like
Yeah.
a explant recovery expert. And so she knew about
Yeah.
your brand and she connected us. So
Yeah.
Meg sent me, I get a lot of free things and I usually just ignore that. I'm like, there's people are like, can I send you a free phone case for exchange for blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whatever. But
Okay,
this one,
good.
I was like, you know what? These look really pretty. Let me try. But I messaged you after because I loved them. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like right out of the package. First of all, they're gorgeous. The packaging, the lace, they're like attractive. I put it on, they fit perfectly. So I messaged you right away and I had to know the story.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's why there's so much to uncover. It's not just another pretty bra brand. There's a lot of bra brands out there. And when I had my explant, I was looking for something that was going to make me feel celebrated and feminine in my skin. And what really I struggled with, because you're already going through this healing journey emotionally, psychologically, when you're trying on all these beautiful bras and there's all these ailments and issues, whether it's itchy, scratchy lace, cup gaps, you start to feel like less than, and you're
Yeah.
not seen and heard. So that it really kind of like delays and like hurts your whole process of trying to love your body again and make it feel beautiful. Bras are very complex. And so not only understanding that missing piece for myself, I dove into focus groups and I talked to thousands and thousands of women. And I was part of a lot of these private groups where women were talking about it. And not just women with explants. These
Mm-hmm.
are women who have been through breast cancer. These are moms who have breastfed before and now have, the pancake breasts, and just women who are just looking for a good
Yeah.
quality, beautiful bra that's comfortable and fits well. And so that's where that was the start of this whole journey, which bras are one of the most complex things to engineer and to
Yeah.
produce. But we've really spent a lot of time, which as you can see from what you've received, that's just our launch collection. So like
Oh,
anything,
wow.
right? There's always room for improvement, but the fact we came out of the gates pretty strong is an incredible thing. And the feedback has been just a dream. So
So tell
yeah.
us your personal story a little bit with explant. Like where that
Sure.
even happened, like how long did you have them? Tell us your journey and how you ended up creating this company.
For sure. So I grew up during a time, which I'm sure a lot of women who are listening to this can relate in some aspect, when the perfect body, quote unquote, was plastered on billboards, magazine covers, fashion show runways. And that really took a toll on my body image. So through university, I struggled for years and years. Even with food, always trying to conforming to this like idea of what the perfect body looks like. Fast forward to getting married and having a husband who made me feel beautiful. It was still an internal struggle. I had two babies, and after my
Mhm.
second baby was born, my already like A cups deflated to nothing, and I was still struggling inside about feeling just sexy and beautiful in my skin. So I thought that breast implants were the key to
Mhm.
unlocking this confidence I never had. That was in 2016. I got them in. After a few months, I started to develop like weird symptoms like slurred speech, light sensitivity,
Wow.
brain fog, which never associated to my implants. And over the course of 4 years, developed into on and off Graves' disease, hyperthyroidism, locked joints, a slew of debilitating symptoms. And I hit rock bottom. Like I felt like I was dying. And I had this personally huge self-love revelation of like what matters most in life,
Mhm.
health, happiness. Like I was able to disassociate beauty and my worth with like my physical being. Breasts didn't define who I was. And so for me, that was really pivotal. So I had them taken out in 2020. I have large scars. I even have some adhesion on one side. But I'll
Mhm.
be honest to say, like, I've never felt better in my skin. I've never felt more
Mhm.
beautiful. Like, do I have a beautiful chest? No, but I've really been able to kind of like see beauty through a different lens, which
Yeah.
is incredible. And that's when I was on a mission to just find a pretty bra that would fit me, no cup gaps, very comfortable. I'm an active mom. I wanted function
Mhm.
and comfort and quality. And when I couldn't find it, that's when I kind of woke up in the night, which I never thought I'd be in this category. I had a branding and marketing agency, like my career, I had a
Yeah.
great career. But this was a space I needed to step in, not only on the product side to solve it there, but psychologically, this whole body image movement and making women feel and see themselves in a better light is something that is so close to my heart. So
You know,
impacting women is equally as important. That's success to me. Yeah.
it's so interesting because I don't know if you feel like me, or maybe many of you listening, like confidence is attractive to me. So like, I don't, when I look at a woman and I think that they're attractive, like I find them visually attractive. There is no set like size that somebody is, weight, height, boob size, whatever. Like it's just that confidence like typically shines through. Like if someone's
It
confident and
does.
then they dress well and they glow, like there's something about that there. And
Yeah.
I was personally just like you, really stuck on the breast thing. Like I was teased when I was younger, like for being flat. And then I was really self-conscious, but I got them at age 19. I was working at Hooters and I had none. I remember like walking up to this table of guys and they were kind of joking about how I was flat. And that was like it in my head. I'm like, I will get boobs. Like that's what I decided at that time, right or wrong. Like that's what I decided.
Yeah.
And when, so many women, when I explanted, well, first of all, a lot of women are super supportive, but I definitely had some women like, you're part of the problem. Like that's why I got implants. Like because I did fitness modeling. I was on covers with big, huge silicone boob. Like I fell into that. I created that body image thing. And women were like, that's why I got them. And that made me feel really sad about why did I get them? And did I play a role in other people doing this to themselves? And then when I explanted and decided like I'm not going to be wearing big padded sport bras, like I'm going to rock what I am, whatever, like totally flat.
Yeah.
What's amazing to me is also because I became confident around that. I'm like, I don't care. Like I feel good. I don't have to wear nipple pads anymore. Like I just feel good. I'm like, I don't care.
Yes.
I'm just rocking it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then other women were like, you look so good without them. Now I'm going to remove mine. Or I think it looks so good. And it was just another
Yeah.
reminder. It's like the confidence piece. It's not so much what actually is. And what I
Yes.
love about your bras is that it helps like celebrate that too. Like you feel confident in those bras.
For sure. And when you think back to the days of without naming names, those really that era of just like all the lace and those sexy bombshell bras, there is a psychological connection between something that's lacy and beautiful and the confidence and self-esteem of a woman. This is like that.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a neuroscience geek, but it makes so much sense when you think about
Yeah.
it. And so it's like, how can we marry the beautiful, sexy bra, something really pretty, with something that's
Right.
actually comfortable, that feels very light, doesn't feel like you get home at the end of the day and you're like, I can't wait to get this off me. So that was where we really had to pull in some of the best product engineers in the industry, which we did,
Makes sense.
to
Makes sense.
help marry it. Yeah, so it's important. It's important. And the amount of intimate conversations we're having with our community, these women who reach out to say like, aside from like the physical bra and how it makes me feel, like they're feeling seen and heard in a way that's never been done in the intimates category. And it's just, it's a beautiful thing. There's a lot of work to still be done, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not everyone can have an explant. There's a lot of women who their post-explant journey is very different, and it's a struggle. And so it's how can we
Yeah.
continue to step up and step in for those women who are having a harder time seeing themselves through those clear
It's
lens.
so funny too, y'all, because there's a lot of myths that I just want to share about explanted, because I was told by multiple surgeons, you're going to hate it. You're going to be concave. You're going to have nothing, like whatever. Okay. But what's interesting, the one surgeon I ended up going with, that's not what he said. He said, look, you might end up loving it. Like, I want to be really clear. It looks nothing like with implants. like it's nothing. It's just, I've got huge scars. I'm pretty flat. Like, it just, like, it doesn't, there's nothing that it looks attractive in comparison to an implant. But like, there's a switch that flips when you feel healthy and you feel good, that you just don't care. Like, that's the only way I can explain it. Like, I just don't even care. It doesn't even.
No, this life is like, when you really, I think when you hit rock bottom, whether it's body image or health or any of those situations in life, I feel like it was a whole life perspective shift. Like, I just appreciate time. Time is fleeting. We have this one life to live. It is so short. And so to think of how sad it is, how we can just be so overconsumed by this image of what we're trying to be and make our bodies look and be a certain way. It's just, it's a powerful thing, but it does feel good to be on the other side of it. And again, now that post-explant, there are some women who get their implants out and they have breast tissue and they have these like beautiful small breasts. I have hardly anything. And again, I have some adhesion. So even when I wear like deep plunging tops, like it's not smooth and like super attractive, I guess, like from the outside, but I'm okay with that. And that's where it comes back to just like your own journey with your own self and what that's like every day. And it's not like I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I love this. This is beautiful. It's just like, it's a daily practice to say, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But
I feel good. I feel healthy.
I've also changed my opinion of what I think. Like, I used to think it looked really good to have the big fake ones, and I don't like that look anymore. I don't know. Exactly. I just don't like it. Like, something changed with me with that. So what do you want women to know? Like, what's your messaging with your what's your drive behind creating this? Like, what is that legacy that you want them to know?
To be honest with you, the impact that we have emotionally and psychologically with our community beyond the product is what this mission is all about. Like, that is success to me, not the revenue goals, not anything else. We are also launching a little sister brand that we're working on, which is impacting that younger generation. Again, it's so much more than product. I just want women to know that, I mean, there's many things. It's still, as many steps as we're taking forward, there's a lot of steps backwards with the content that's on social media. Everyone's highlight reels. There's filters that women can filter their bodies in videos. And so as much as we have exposure to influencers like yourself who are, just showing and shining your light post-explant and giving women that inspiration, there's a lot of other, filters. There's a lot of face fillers and Botox. There's a lot of that. So it's like this constant struggle. I just want women to understand that they can define beauty on their own terms. And this sounds so cliche, and it's not something that you can just say, like, take that mantra and it's going to like make you like see yourself in this beautiful way every day. But it's just understanding you have one life to live. You get to define beauty. We have to like rewire our minds from all these decades of this, like shoving it down our throat of what beauty and sexy is supposed to look like, and really just have that power within ourselves to say, like, we can make this look however we want. I get to decide.
I was just talking to a good friend of mine about this morning because, so I don't know how old you are, Meg, but I grew up in the 70s. So I grew up in the ages of, I mean, beauty's not going away. Like, beauties have been back from Cleopatra. Like beauty is always going to be a thing. It's biology. Like, men are attracted, whatever woman wants to argue about it is just biology, and it's a thing. It's not going to go away. However, I will tell you, growing up in the 70s, it was really crazy for people that are my age now, for Gen X, because not only were we held to some crazy beauty standards, like I remember my mom eating like iceberg lettuce for dinner with like her carrot shreds and her fat-free dressing and her diet tab. Like, and we'd be eating regular food. And like, it was not okay to, it was ads everywhere about being skinny, not even just like feel better in your body. It's like be skinny. Like it's the whole thing. And then beauty was such a big, I remember doing crazy things. I don't know about you, but I remember like laying out in the sun. You had to be as tan as you could. You had to bleach your hair. There's all these
Oh
like
my gosh.
rules.
Yes.
So
Yep.
it keeps going up. Like there's more and more things. So what
Yep.
I find now, like fast forward to almost 53, I find now that like either women my age either fully fight it, like they're like anti-age everything. Let me inject, let me this, let me do that, like fight it all the way. And their list gets really long of maintenance things, like really long. And
Yeah.
or there's the other extreme of like, oh, I just age gracefully. And they seem to like argue each other, right? But there's this middle
Yes.
ground that people aren't talking about. And that's where I think is a special place. It's like this age optimizing area of like, you can pick and choose and do you. Now, for
Yeah.
me, I'm not going to go fully gray. Like that's not what's going to happen right now. I want to color my hair. I want to, but I'm
Yeah.
also, I choose not to do Botox, right? I choose to not have gel nails anymore. I choose to not have implants anymore. Like I'm thinking like, how do I lessen the load? Like not just lessen
Yes.
toxin load. How do I lessen the laundry list load of things we have to do to ourselves?
Exactly. It's a long list. Even when you bring
Mhm.
that up, I mean, oh my gosh, the amount. And now I'm trying to just like take care of my skin for like the reverse effects
Yeah.
that I had in all the tanning beds for years. I worked at
Yep.
a tanning salon for a bit.
Me
No,
too.
but the
Me
tanning,
too.
the green tea diet pills I would take every day. I mean,
Yep.
it's
I did all
but
that.
you're right, as we get older. Yeah. And I'm 40 next year. And so I'm already, I have the smile lines, I have the
Yep.
wrinkles, and
Mhm.
most of my friends in my network where I live do the Botox and all the
Of
things. And I'm
course.
like, oh my gosh, I'm like that one that's looking like I'm aging a lot in my group. So how do I, again, and it's to each their own. I think, like you
Yeah.
said perfectly, like everyone can pick and choose however they want to age and what feels good for them. But for me, yeah, it's trying to minimize that list too. Like,
Well,
no,
and there's
as
not
you
a
can,
day that goes by that I don't think about Botox. I'm just being real. Like I've definitely
no,
done it
100%.
before. I've
Yeah.
done it before. I'm not doing it anymore. And the reason I'm not doing it anymore is I have a very expressive forehead. So, like if you're watching my video, it's very expressive. And
Yeah.
when I do it, it's like it changes my whole face, like in not a good way. Like it's weird, and it doesn't even last. It lasts
Yeah.
like 2 months on me. I don't. If you work out, you metabolize it quick, and I don't like it. And it's
Yeah.
also a toxin. So I'm like, to me, I'm like, how can I remove
Exactly.
my implants and do that? So
Yeah.
my whole thought is if people want to do it, awesome. But to me, women that are 50, 60, 70 with lots of filler and Botox, they just look 50, 60, or 70 with lots of filler or Botox. That's just what I think.
Agreed. Agreed.
So it's not like you
Agreed.
look 20. You
I
don't. I mean, I hate
know.
to break it to you. We don't look 20 when we do that. So
I know. I know. It's so true. It's so true. It's a tricky situation because again, so many, even some of my sisters, a lot of friends in my network. And so it's not, you never want to have that like fear factor. It's just my own personal
right.
thing. And same with you, like, because I was so sick from
Yeah.
something toxic being in my body,
Right.
it scares me. Like, how is my body going to react? What if I have some like adverse reaction? And what does that look like? How do I sustain that for the next
That's
40
right.
years?
And I'll tell you the one time that
Um,
I did do it that
yeah.
I liked it, like I did it, it was maybe a year and a half ago. I shared it on social when I did it. I did it. I found this great surgeon. It was like the most expensive I had ever done. And I actually liked it. Like it lifted my eye. I like did a couple things and I sort of liked it.
Yeah.
But what it did is it made me notice everything else on my face that now, and then it's just like this addictive thing. Like, okay,
Yes.
now what else do
Yeah.
I got to do? Like what, now I need to do this and that and this. And then it like just wears off and it's so expensive. Like, never
Yes.
mind. So
Forget it. Forget
my
it.
thought is how do
Yeah.
we lessen it? How do we feel good with what we have and lessen it?
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
expressing ourselves with clothes is one of those things. And that's where I think the bras come in too.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah, there's that psychological element of it too. And there's nothing, I mean, yes, you can put on an athleisure bra and just like feel so good and comfortable throughout the day, but to have something that you're like, you put on before you put on your clothes and you catch
mhm.
yourself in the mirror and something lacy and sexy, but you're like, awesome, because I can also wear this all day. There's something special there. And, we're continuing to innovate new product and use our community to drive that. But it's that bigger message there about giving
Yeah.
women something that they're going to feel just beautiful and comfortable and without sacrificing function,
So
comfort, having these big cup gaps or excessive padding. That's just not what we want.
So I've heard a lot of people have tagged like different brands when I've shared about bras. And to be fair, I've tried a lot, but I haven't tried all of them.
Yeah.
This one, I'm being real, y'all. Like, this is not a paid podcast. She didn't pay me to do this. She didn't pay me to talk about, like, she's not a paid ad on here. Like, I just genuinely liked what I found with her. And I love her company and I have a feeling it's going to grow pretty quick. Not just for those of you that are post-explant, but for those of you that have had bra issues, like that you're like,
Yeah.
nothing looks good, or I have the, like what you said, the pancake situation. They're totally
Right.
worth trying.
Totally.
So,
And one quick thing I want to say that's kind of broken in the industry, because we have a lot of inquiries for women who are like larger C and D cups and whatnot. And so we launched, you won't really see the messaging like itty bitty titty committee on our website, because our bigger vision has always been to be able to celebrate women of
okay.
most sizes, right? Of most cup sizes.
Yeah.
And so what happens in the industry typically, a brand will take a 34C, for example. They'll fit it on their fit models to perfection, but then they grade that size across their entire size offering from double A to double D. Well,
Mm,
double D cups have a completely different set of fit pain points than a double A. And so it made sense to launch with double A to C, given my personal story and my size, and nailing down that range and the fit issues there. But now we are developing D cups, larger C and D cups, with addressing the pain points that they have, which is, slightly larger straps, a little bit more coverage in the underarm and around the back. So it's a very, we're not focused on margins and like creating the
yeah.
cheapest cost per unit here. It's really serving women in each size range the way they want to be served. The bra kind of will essentially look the same, but it's gonna fit women at each size range the way they deserve to have it fit. So there's
So good.
is a lot of intricacies happening behind the scenes, but yeah, it's been a beautiful ride. We just had our 2-year anniversary, and it feels like we're just getting started, which is
That's
a cool
awesome.
feeling.
Well, I
Yeah.
can't wait to keep trying I mean, I have like some of the original sample ones. I love them. Y'all, if you go and look, because they're not cheap, but they're not like crazy ridiculous either. Just so I'm just warning you, letting you know, but they're made really, really well. They fit amazing. And so I would say go start out with just get like one of the tan, one of the black ones, just so you have two. Like you can wear the same one. It's like they're
Yeah.
awesome. What I was also telling her is they have like this, her different designs have like some lace that pokes out. So they're cute. They're like they're really pretty. Like you can wear them under a jacket, you can wear them under a tank top, you can wear them under different things. So I highly recommend.
Yeah.
Meg, where do you want people to go to look for them? I mean, should they be going to your Instagram? Do you want them, what's your main website? Where do you want people to look?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So two things, lovelexi.com, which it's two X's, LexXI.com. And we are on Instagram at We Love Lexi. The thing with Instagram is so many brands today, as many of you know, like they'll buy the followers because that gives the brand credibility.
Mm,
But we have this other angle where I'm like constantly like battling with myself about is, you go to the Instagram account, it's like, oh, they have under 10,000 followers. Like, are
mm-mm.
they valid? But it's just like, I refuse to also just like pretend like like
No,
all these fake
yeah.
followers. But Instagram is a beast with the algorithm.
No, I
So
don't. My
so
audience
please
is
come find us
smarter than
there.
that. They know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that's such smoke and mirrors. You can always tell by
Oh, it
engagement, by
is.
the way, y'all. Like, don't, it's
Yeah,
not the likes or the number, it's the engagement. Look at engagement on your
exactly.
thing. You can know what's real or
Exactly.
not.
So I love driving women to the new community members
Speaking
to the
of that,
Instagram. Just
Meg, I got a message like recently. Speaking, that puts me on such a heated thing about that. I got a message recently about from this guy who had 11.5 million followers on Instagram. Said 11.5, and he's dropping all these names, and it's like, do you want me to be on his podcast? He said he was number one podcast. Like, first of all, he's not number one podcast. And when you looked at this 11.5 million, like his videos have like 8 comments under them. Like, really? So,
right.
so we gotta be
Right.
smarter than that. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And none of that matters. It's just social, right? We all get like so I think attached to it. It's important to have
Yeah.
the brand presence there. But yeah, come find us there, hang out there. We're more active on Instagram than any other
Awesome.
social platform right now because we're a small team. But yeah, that'd be great. We'd love to.
I
And
love
again, our
it.
customer service is our where we spend most of our time and resources. So if you have questions, bras are hard to shop for online when you can't be in a store trying them on. So there's an online chat on our website. You can talk to us pretty much every day, and we're there.
Awesome. And I'll link all that up in the
Yeah.
show notes. Thank you so much for being here today, Meg. Thank you.
Natalie, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. You're awesome.